Howdy, partner. We's going on a cattle drive today. Oh, can I come? Can I come? Please, please, please. Sure, you can come along. We're going to go to Dodge City in Kansas. Come along with us. Hello, class. History, Thursday, and open up your Our America book, please, to page 124. We'll check over what you did on questions 1 through 3, and then we're going to go on and talk about cattle drives today. If you can't find the page, put it on hold. Come join us. All right, do you have the page? Number 1. Again, we're on page 124. What were men who looked after cattle called? Do you know, Horsey? Cowboys. That's right. Describe one thing a cowboy wore and tell why it was important. What do you like best, Horsey? Oh, I don't like those spurs. They kind of don't feel very comfortable to me. Oh, well, that's true. Spurs on the boots, and there'd be boots, and there'd be a hat, and what else would there be? Oh, of course, what would you wear? A saddle. That's right. And how about the bandana? Right. And the chaps and the lariat. Oh, yeah, that's how we catch those cows. All right. So you could have listed any of those things and that would be good. Number 3, why did ranchers need cowboys? Do you know why, Horsey? Well, in those days, there were no fences. That's right. The cattle would just roam away and get lost. That's right. So the livestock or the cattle had to be protected also from rustlers who might try to steal them and to make sure that they didn't wander off. Well, let's go ahead and start reading on page 125. Sounds good to me. Not many towns in the West had railroads. The towns that did have railroads to take the cows to the east were called cow towns. Cow towns, cow towns. They should have been called horse towns. No, cow towns. Dodge City, Kansas was a famous cow town. A rancher would hire cowboys to drive the cattle to a cow town. How long did it take to drive the cattle from a ranch to a cow town? It usually took about 4 months. That's a long time. That's right. That's from Christmas until now. Yeah, but Christmas was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yep. For 4 months, the cowboys would see nothing but each other and, of course, cows. We can understand that right now, having to stay home, can't we? Well, you're being a cowboy. Just pretend you're on your way to Cowtown, and you're not going to see a lot of people on your way. The cattle they looked after were called longhorns. Can you see why? Wow, those are long horns. Okay, I would not want to get poked by one of those cows. I would not want one of those cows chasing me. All right, page 126. We've got a word on the top there. Horsey, can you pronounce it? Stampede. That's right. Does it have anything to do with stamps? Not stamps you put on letters. I think it has more to do with like stamping your feet, like stomping. Oh, kind of a scary word. Okay, a little bit scary sometimes to be a cowboy. All right, the rancher who owned the cattle would travel with the cowboys for the next 4 months. The rancher also hired a cook who drove a chuck wagon, a kitchen on wheels. Whoa, I'm hungry. Where's the food? Well, I don't see a chuck wagon here right now. All right, well, I'm waiting for the chuck wagon. Okay. The cowboys ate bacon, beans, and bread almost every day. Of course, there was always plenty of coffee and beefsteak. The cowboys rode all day, which meant their horses would need a break. So each cowboy usually took 3 horses with him. While he was riding one horse, the other 2 horses would be resting. The rancher would also hire a man called a wrangler. It was the wrangler's job to look after the extra horses. My wrangler's a nice man. Good, I'm glad. And did you need a rest? I needed so much rest. I feel refreshed now. Good. Okay, page 127, roundup. A real cowboy loved his job. One thing he feared, though, was a stampede. Stampede! Thanks for the sound effects. In a stampede, the castle became wild. No, not the castle. Did Mrs. Frazier misread a word? It happens, doesn't it? Even to the best of us. The cattle became wild. Stampedes caused damage and were dangerous. What caused a stampede? Sometimes a sudden sound, like thunder before a storm, would startle the cattle. Sometimes just a person's voice could do it. If one cow started running, the others would too. And you would not want to be in their way. No, sirree. That's right, you wouldn't. After 4 months of long, hard days of driving cattle, you can be sure the cowboys were glad to ride into a cow town. Here, they sold the cattle and put them on a train to the east. If you were to travel to the west today, you could still find some cowboys, but not as many as in the days of cow towns and cattle drives. Railroads were built, cities were founded, and fences surrounded the land once used for cattle drives. Though the American West has changed, one thing is certain. The American West forever changed America. You helping me turn the page there, Horsey? Yep, sure am. All right, on page 128, there are some words to some cowboy songs. And I tried to post those so that you can hear what they sound like. And let's read on the top of page 128. America's songs, cowboy songs. Because stampedes were dangerous, at least one cowboy always kept watch during the night. He would often sing softly to the cattle to soothe them. Maybe you have heard some of the songs of America's cowboys. They were not loud songs, for a sudden yell could cause a stampede. Perhaps you would like to sing some cowboy songs too. All right, kids, you just look for that video posted on the cowboy songs. All right, I'm sure they will. And they can do page 129. If they don't know if the answers are true or false, they can look back over the pages that we read. It's always good to look for the bold words when you look back. Sometimes those will help you find an answer. Not always, but sometimes. And I think we're finished for today. We were glad having you as our visitor, Horsey, and watch out. Be careful of stampedes. That's right, it would be no fun to get stepped on by all those cows. It sure would not be fun. Goodbye, and keep making history.